Welcome, Bronco fans, to the latest edition of the Western Michigan Football Spring Practice Report. As always, we start our episode with Coach Fleck. Coach, today's a very special episode, as we're going to talk special teams.
Oh, terrific.
You know, when I bring up the name J.D. Givney, Bronco fans remember what he was able to do with Purdue against us in the 2011 Little Caesars Bowl and that special teams. What is he bringing to the Broncos with his knowledge?
I think JB is a very innovative, young, energetic coach, and that's what he's going to bring. When I was making the decision whether to have a special teams coordinator or have other coaches coach the special teams, one of them, the receiver coach kickoff return, and the running back coach kickoff, and you do that way. I really wanted to have one guy that focused really on special teams. And as I continued to look at the candidates, JB was always at the forefront of it, and I'm just really happy we were able to hire him because I think he gives us an advantage. I really do. I believe that. I believe he gives us an advantage strategically, and being able to spend that much time on the bridge between offense and defense, because that's what special teams really is. It's the bridge that keeps the offense and defense together. So I'm really happy we have him.
You mentioned the bridge, and there are three phases of the game and coaching staffs. You always say you need to be successful in all three phases of the game. How important are special teams, and not just the kicking aspect, kick coverage, punt return? How important is that?
It's extremely important. I think that's why we hired a special teams coordinator. I think I wanted to make such an emphasis for our football program to be able to say, hey, even if I'm a starter, I want to be on special teams. And I think JB's brought that, the sense of the mentality of, you want to be on special teams this year. It's even if you start, even if you don't start, you want to be on that special teams depth chart. And each play, you look at the punt, it's the most important play in football. In my opinion, it's the only time it's an organized turnover. We're taking it as an offense saying, okay, here, defense, we're going to turn it over to you. So anytime that the special teams are on the field, there's going to be an elite lock-in mentality from the Broncos.
We talk about relationships on the field. Obviously, the offensive line needs to have a great working relationship. But the relationship between the snapper, the holder, and the kicker needs to be flawed, needs to be elite every time. Talk a little bit about the guys that we have that have been working together now for a couple of years.
Well, if you look at Kirk, our long snapper, and you look at Andrew, our kicker right now, and Schroeder, our punter, and they have to. They're like an amoeba. They kind of move around practice together. But we put them in different situations. We'll blow the whistle, go right into a field goal right away. In terms of just in the middle of a team period, or they always have to be ready for some type of situation that they have to go out and perform. So they're ready throughout the entire practice. So we try to be able to make sure we simulate the game day experience that no matter what, they've got to be ready in any situation, any time to be able to get out there and do their job. And we try to recreate that during practice.
Final question. We're going to be speaking with Andrew Haldeman in a moment. When you're thinking of a kicker, is it proper technique, or is it confidence, or a combination of both that makes a successful kicker?
I think it all has to do with the mentality, because I think you have to have such an elite mentality to be able to do your technique on a daily basis in terms of do it fundamentally sound every single time. It's like a golf swing. And I've never been a kicker, but I know speaking and listening to other people as I've kind of gone around the country, it's just like a golf swing. The ball gets in the way of the technique. And the minute that changes, that's all a mental block. That's all, that's all your mental thought process. Andrew's done a tremendous job, I think, of growing from where he was when we first got here to where he is right now. He's nowhere near where we want him to be, but you can tell him taking the coaching that JB used to give him, and that's the one thing JB brings, is JB used to be a kicker. So he's able to coach those guys, not only the special teams and the X's and O's, but JB's also to coach them. He can coach them in technique with them and go over all their types of things and be able to tweak things without ruining them, because he knows what it's like to be a kicker and a punter, and he knows all those types of techniques. So I think our kickers and even Andrew's really benefiting from JB, and you can see the growth in the first 4 months of just watching Andrew kick.
All right, thank you, Coach. And next up we will have Andrew Haldeman. All right, Bronco fans, now we're back with Western Michigan place kicker Andrew Haldeman. Andrew, I've asked everybody this so far this spring for the spring practice report. I'm going to ask you. Coach Fleck is huge on learning something every day. What have you learned so far, maybe about yourself or about your techniques throughout the spring?
I've learned a lot with my techniques, in like an incredible amount of more breaking each kick down into little like moving parts and trying to get rid of those. One of the things that I just found out today is that with my ankle lock, I'm rotating just a little bit from being locked out totally down at bottom position, and for my leg swing through for the follow through, it's rotating a little bit forward, and we're working on getting that out right now.
Obviously, Coach Gibney is in his first season with the Broncos. Just talk a little bit about working under him, how he's bettered you, and then also, the entire special teams unit.
I feel like he's bettered me in many ways by pointing out all the little details that I have that I need to work on, such as my ankle lock, my follow through downfield, and even down into the details of my left arm going up high and across my body. For the whole entire special teams, it's the same way. He is very detailed and meticulous of going through every single detail to make sure everything is elite.
Excellent. Now, obviously, Bronco fans remember probably the biggest highlight of your season last year, the 52-yard field goal against Ball State to send it into overtime. Do you use moments of success in your mind as you prepare for a kick or for anything, even in practice?
Not necessarily a moment in a game, but I think to myself how many times I have done that kick in practice. Like over last summer, I kicked many 55-yard field goals, 50-yard field goals by myself out in the stadium, so I know I can do it. So I know it is physically possible by me to do it, and I tell myself that I am capable of doing it because I know I've done it more than once in the past.
Talk about what some people may not know. As you're going out, to kick a field goal, there's a certain step and a process you go through. What is going through your mind as you're readying yourself to make that kick?
When I'm readying myself to make the kick, I take my steps off backwards, and I always line up and I pick a point beyond the field goal posts to make sure I'm lining up straight, and then I go over at a 90-degree angle, and I'm thinking to myself, just lock ankle, lock knee, head down, and follow through downfield.
I actually do have one more question. When you are preparing yourself again to make the kick, is it better to kind of be off by yourself, or are you the kind of guy that you just want to have the interaction with your team as you're getting ready to make a big kick?
Whenever I'm thinking about a big kick or anything like that, I try making every little kick even by myself like a big kick mentally, because if you're not practicing the big kick type of moments every single time, you're going to make yourself, once you finally do get to that point, you're going to have those anxiety and really nervous feelings. So you can't never think about it just that you're by yourself. You got to think of you have 100,000 screaming fans throughout the stadium for every single kick. Even if it's an extra point or anything like that, every kick is a game-winning kick.
All right, thank you, Andrew, and I want to say thank you also to Coach Fleck, as always, for joining us. This will be our last spring report for the week, as Friday night, tomorrow night, is Necton Neon Night here at Waldo Stadium. Bronco fans, students, come out, see the team practice, enjoy all the events that are going to go on, including the free food. Everybody's got to love free food. Again, Necton Neon Night, tomorrow night, April 12th, 9 p.m. at Waldo Stadium. For Coach Fleck, Andrew Haldeman, I'm Matt Kanan. Row the boat.